Good evening, friends, foes, and those bound here by a mysteriously worded pact you definitely didn't read all the way through. Welcome once again to This Is Your Questline. I am your host, Wisteria Daggerford, and yes, that was a real prophecy. I just didn't like the ending. Tonight, I am joined by a very special guest. But first, if you're wondering what in the nine hells you're doing here, let me explain. You've been summoned here, to this plane, to hear first-hand accounts from adventurers, like tonight's guest, if you could call him that. Their wins, their losses, their not-so-near misses with death, or ghouls, and the messy little choices that they made along the way. And trust me when I say it's so good that you'll simply die. Not me though, because once again, I can't. You can, however. And so can our next guest, who crawled out of the shadow ways, raised a dragon, and somehow still found time to become an expert cartographer. He's danced with turtles, dodged jungle beast, and mapped half the continent, all without losing his beard or his attitude. Please welcome someone who's seen it all, survived a little, and also can't stand the cold, Abrasaw. And yes, what is with him? Welcome to This Is Your Questline.
Who are you talking to? I am very confused by what is going on right now. You talk to me, but also like others? Or what? This strange, weird place, me sitting having drink, nice warm coffee, and then next thing you know, I'm in this thing with you, strange woman.
I don't know if you heard, but I did an entire intro, and I'm not here to repeat it again just for you.
Old ears don't always work. I was focused on coffee and then weird place with you talking to all of these other people.
Yes, and there's truly so many people that are watching you right now, which you wouldn't be that used to, right? You're not that interesting. And if you are, we're going to find out about it. So, I'm sorry. Are you going to say something? Are you a fucking owl? Who?
No, I was just, again, wondering...
You're like goldfishing.
Watching. Yes, I don't understand what's going on, but you ask a question, I suppose. This is strange. I don't understand, but lots of things I don't understand.
Well, then let me speak very slowly for you. Let's start with question number 1. That comes after 0 and before 2. Tell us where your story first began. When's the moment you knew that you had a story?
It was quite good, the whole number thing is being sarcastic because I was confused and you talking slow. Old, not stupid. Anyway, question, something about starting from the beginning? I mean, like a very long time ago, I was born. Is that where you wanted to start from, or
Sure.
just move on? So was born, didn't have the beard or the glasses at the time, but born and then stuff happened, and that's probably pretty sort of boring for most people. Then, so question? Where did it?
Tell us about your life story, the most interesting parts, if there are any.
Right, okay. Most interesting part. Well, interesting. So I originally came from a place. I was going to say far away because it was far away from where I am in Craigslade at the moment, but far away from there, but maybe not far away from here. Born in a place called Barnarlong, off in the Arathan Mountains in northern Haldorn. I was little dwarf, and then grew into bigger dwarf. Part of that was you would go out into the shadow ways to like prove your ability to be able to survive and kill monsters and look after a clan. Lots of dwarves would do that. Die. That's too weak. Not Abrasaw. Abrasaw, very strong, very tough, very good at not dying. Did that for, I don't know, 50, 60 years, I suppose. Do I keep going? Do you need more detail?
I'm listening. You just keep talking.
Right. Okay. So I suppose I did that for 50 or 60 years, and that was, I mean, that was kind of fun. Was also a little bit boring at times. Um, Wirt, my little dragon friend. He's small. Not sure if you can see him. I don't know if like all other people can see him who are watching. Do they watch all the time? If I need to go bathroom, will they still be watching, or will that be okay?
The only privacy I will give you is the bathroom.
Right, okay, good to know. I mean, I'm an old dwarf. Bladder not as good as it used to be. Anyway, what? His little dragon friend. I met him probably when I was mid 60s, so kind of like a middle-aged or so youngish dwarf, very hunky, very strong. Not so much now, because of course now I'm old and bits hurt more than they should. Um, but what the little dragon, he's best friend in the world. He'd go everywhere with me. I found him in little egg and raised him like my own. I didn't sit on egg, because that would be weird, but hatched him from egg.
I wouldn't be surprised if you sat on the egg, from what I know of
Why?
you.
What? Why? I mean, why not? I mean, if I needed to sit on egg, I would sit on egg. I mean, it would be the right thing to do. But everyone knows you don't have to sit on dragon egg. That would just be stupid. Oh my God! Why do you think I would sit on the egg?
You said it first, not I.
Oh, I look confused.
Is that what you would consider your general state of being? Confusion?
Ah, these days, maybe. I mean, when one gets old like me, I don't know how old you are, but when
Oh,
one
I am
gets old
far,
like me,
far older than you, darling.
well, I mean, you've aged well. I mean, you don't look a day over at least probably like 300. But like for old dwarf like me, you get old, brain starts to slow down. You realize that a lot of things in life don't kind of really matter anymore. So, like confusion and chaos, it's fine. You just kind of keep rolling along in a certain direction and having fun. And you have good friend like work here, and you just hang out. And sometimes you meet some nice people, sometimes you meet some bad people. Sometimes you meet some really stupid people. I've met a few stupid people recently. Some remarkably stupid people.
I am unsurprised. I too meet so many stupid people. Um,
So, sorry, can I ask you a question?
you can certainly fucking try.
Excellent, great. I like conversation is good because it means that I get to learn things. So, why would you have stupid person on this place? Do you
Because
like to?
it's entertainment value, and sometimes it's fun for people to laugh at people that are stupider than them.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I can kind of understand that. Again, I've seen my fair share of stupid people.
Speaking of people, you have come into map making. Is that correct?
Well, yes. It was one of those situations where, been lots of places, traveled from up in the Urathan Mountains, all through South Balazan deserts, down into southern Paldorn, been to all sorts of places, been just so many places, and I would say mine's very good at remembering things, but that would be kind of not what I said before. But like I said, I get confused. I have good eye for terrain and scenery, so I thought, hey, old dwarf got to make a bit of money sometimes. So I started making maps, selling them to people. People would buy them. People would pay stupid amounts of money for maps. It was great. It's
What
amazing who
is
you can rip off these days. I mean, yeah. Anyway, keep going.
what is your favorite and least favorite place that you've recorded with pen and paper, whatever the fuck you use?
Pen. I don't know what pen is. Used
Oh,
often use pencil or charcoal or a little bit of ink. like long feather from quill or long feather from bird. Let's call it quill. Favorite place? Interesting. Tough question. Tough question.
You can start
Place.
with least favorite if you like.
Least favorite place. Also a tough question because there's not a lot of places I like. Anyway, favorite place. Not many people like it. I kind of do. It's a place called Port Netherpack. It's very bottom of Peldon. Way down, very, very cold. Not many people there, which honestly I kind of like. But it has beautiful, beautiful view of oceans and seas down there. In particular, place known as Wretched Seas. It's wild, lots of big. That's not the right word or the right noise. And waves. Sorry, common tongue, not my first tongue. But there's sort of like a silverness to the water. It's beautiful. People say that if you talk to the right person, catch the right ship, you can sail off into a completely different plane of existence. But
So
again, reason I like it, not many people.
So you say the Wretched Seas, correct?
Yes. Yeah,
So-
I did, yes.
Interesting. I've heard a little about this place before. It's, from what I've heard, not the easiest place to traverse for the mind. Is that correct?
Oh, look, it can be something where people get very confused. I have not gone too far out because I did not want brain to break, at least any more than brain already broken. But it's reality itself can kind of like twist and morph out there. And as I said, like there's stories that if you talk to the right person, catch the right boat, you can sail off to a completely different place. Like not where the land is, but like off to these planes of existence, if you would, which I don't even really honestly know what that means. Maybe this is different plane of existence.
It
This is just what people
absolutely
say.
is. This is my plane. But may I don't need to ask you if I can ask a question. I'm going to ask you the question. Have you
Let's see,
met
this is
anyone?
good. Showing me respect. I like this. You good. I like.
There is truly so much time for disrespect. I wonder, have you encountered anyone personally who has had their mind or reality twisted around them from this wretched sea?
Uh, no one springs or actually there is it is told it's there it is did not meet them personally, but there are tales that the person who actually is in charge of Port Nezapacta cannot remember their name because honestly do not care. But lots of implications that their mind is bent and twisted by living too close to Wretched Sea. That's why most people don't live actually in Port Nezapacta. Most people live in Inner Port, which is inland. So I suppose there was that person who I wish I could remember the name, but lots of people there, very strange, walking around, just very odd.
Speaking of strange people, you must have met a few. And recently you met a group that piqued your interest. I would like you to describe all of them in one sentence or less.
I've met lots of people, but it's not many groups. I suppose it's just. Well, must be that one group. This is one sentence each. Okay. I can do this. I can.
It does not
that.
need to be fact. It can be purely fiction or just your read on them.
Right. Interesting.
Opinions, thoughts,
Okay, so
feelings,
opinions.
emotions.
Abrasaw has many, many opinions on these people. Interesting. Okay. So, this tall one, like blue skin, seems to be smart, really not very good at looking after themselves. However, I heard that they tried to put on makeup, not very good. has weird devices. I don't know. Comes from Shardfall, from the big machine city. He was just was like a, I don't know, strange man. Don't understand him. There was him. There was Olos. There's a gnome, a Svertneblin. Grumful. I remember him because he was old like me, not as old as me, but old like me. Smart, clever, wise. We understood each other to a certain extent. He was probably the least stupid across the whole group. Nice gnome. Uh, who else was there? Oh God, God. Uh, it's another Durga like myself. Dimgrim, something like that. He's just a big stupid hat made him look ridiculous, and just was truly one of the stupidest Durga I've ever met in my life. I mean, his lack of common sense, truly astounding. In saying that, it's some potential. If he went down Israel, maybe he could learn some stuff. But also not holding my breath, because if I do, I'd probably die because he really was that stupid. Which one? There's two little halflings. One didn't really see very much of. Seemed to kind of like be here and then not be there. It's just a strange one. The other one.
It's just us.
It's just us. She was quite nice. It gave Abrasaw a hug. Abrasaw doesn't get many hugs. Only thing is, that one needs to learn, understand personal space. He kept trying to pet Wirt, like Wirt was like some kind of dog or cat or small dinosaur thing. Like, Wirt is intelligent person. He's my friend. I mean, if someone come and tried to pat you on the head, how would you feel about it?
If you fucking try, I will cut your hands off.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to try because I'm not stupid, but also I'm not the one to judge you because maybe you like to be patted on head. I don't know. You're a strange woman. I think that was the gnome, two halflings, the Tor Blue Shardfolk individual, and the dumb Durgard. I think that's all of them.
Perfect. Now, if I am to understand correctly, they saved your life. Is that right?
Look, saved life, I feel like maybe slight exaggeration. I mean, maybe Delacool bit me. Maybe there was risk that I was going to turn into a horrible ghoul and then run around and eat people. Maybe if they
So
hadn't
let
turned
me interject.
Okay.
Were you actually in danger at being hurt by these ghouls, or were you just testing their reflexes?
Oh, look, obviously, they found me, like, injured, and look, obviously test. Obviously test. I mean, Abrasaw more than capable of looking after himself, but they decided to come along. I was like, let them do some heavy lifting for once. It's just a little nibble on the arm. I mean, ultimately, my contract terrible disease turn into ghoul and end up chewing someone's face off. Worst ways to go in life.
Just another
Cool.
Tuesday.
It's another. Interesting. I'm sorry you don't like the question things.
No, I don't. This is my talk show. Get your own.
My talk show.
Now, question for you. Back to the map thing.
Right, maps. Yes.
Have you ever recorded something on a map inaccurately on purpose?
Look, on purpose? Maybe, but that was because person who was buying map was idiot. And I'm not talking about the idiots that I was talking about before. They were a different set of idiots. This was other idiot. He was one of those, like, poncy nobles from Alamar who was just like, oh, look at me, I got lots of money. I'm going to do amazing things. Make me map, do what I say, dwarf. And I was like, sure, made map, pointed him in direction of big hole, he'll fall in and hopefully die. Wonder what he's doing now. Hmm.
You mentioned earlier that you had ripped people off a little bit with your maps before. How much did you overcharge this party?
Oh, look, I
Like in
mean,
a gold amount.
like in Golden Out, I mean, probably. I can't remember how much I charged them in the first place, but honestly, probably could have sold it to them for 2 or 3 gold. I think it was probably closer to 20 or 30 gold that I charged. It might have been more, it might have been less. I mean, ultimately, like, it's it's a seller's market. They wanted directions. They want to go off into the hills and find something up there, which, by the way, very interesting because I actually went and had a look and found what they were looking at. Very interesting. That's actually where I was.
So, speaking of, tell us more about where you are currently, because I just blipped you out. What was the
Hmm.
last thing you were doing? Where was the last place you were?
Well, I mean, like I said, I was making a little cup of coffee, and because it was still early in the morning, and it takes Abrasaw a little bit of time to get going. It's getting colder. It's later in sort of the winterish months. Uh, but it was also a little town called Craig Slates. There's a little group of people up there now who are trying to rebuild town outside of large mine. Not entirely sure what is in mine. I haven't gone down there yet myself, but apparently this group of idiots that I knew have come here and done something down there, and there's some kind of wealth or something. I don't know, but there's a bunch of people there now, all trying to help set up and get this thing organized. So I thought, hey, why not? Go have a look. Could be an interesting story. Could make a little bit of money. Another way to make some maps.
Are you going to go down there?
Look, I might. I might. There is something built down there, like at night when Abrasaw goes to sleep. It's strange dreams, like weird kind of like woman's voice in head. And look, I mean, Abrasaw has dreamt about women before, if you know what I mean. But this is slightly different. This is like just like little insidious voice in the head going, oh, this thing's head. Oh. I don't give detail because it was kind of like dream. Also, don't want to give stuff away in case somebody else is listening. But look, it's interesting, and apparently people there are like friends of this group, and they've come here because they were given directions.
Speaking of dreams and, sleeping, all of that sort of shit, when you're trying to get to sleep at night
Mm-hmm.
and the shadow ways crosses its way into your brain,
Yes.
what is the one thing that haunts you the most about that place?
Oh, interesting. I mean, there's so much down there which just wants to like rip you into thousands of pieces. I did have one really nasty experience when much younger, probably only, I don't know, early 20s, early 30s. First going out there, the hunting party that I was with got massacred by bullet. Or bullet. Some people say it differently depending on where in the world you come from. I call it a bullet. I think that sounds better. Anyway, giant thing known as land shark came through, massacred the rest of group. When I say massacred, I mean there were arms and legs and blood and heads, entrails. It was truly one of the grossest things I've ever seen in my life. Only reason I survived, would like to say, super heroic. I jumped up and got knocked unconscious and fell into the bodies and yeah, woke up, it was gone.
So you didn't survive by, hold on, let me check my notes, hiding under the corpses of your friends.
Look, it's you. One does what one needs to do when in Shadowways. Because I was young, I was little dwarf. I mean, I was already little, but I was littler dwarf. And so do what you need to do. I have no shame in it. You would do the same. Well, maybe you'll not. You'd be too scared of getting blood on pretty clothes. Oh no, I'm covered in entrails.
I like blood and I can't die. Now, you have been below and above the surface. If you had to determine which side of life is crueler, which side of life is crueler, above the surface or below?
Oh. You ask very good questions.
Thank you.
Uh,
It's like it's my
uh,
fucking job or something.
well, look, I mean, look, just because it's your job doesn't mean you do it well. I know lots of people who have job and do very poor job of it.
Ah,
I
it's
mean,
always
yeah.
nice to have some self-reflection, Abrasaw.
Well, look, hey, he's having a dig at me. My map skill's very good. Very good map skill. Can't just, I don't know. Anyway, what was question? Oh, which was worse, above or below? I mean, problem with above is the big burny thing in sky. It's awfully bright, make eyes hurt. I also think that I also think that people above the ground tend to be more dishonest and deceitful. I think there's more backstabbing and and traitors and betrayal. Where like underground, it's all pretty like, hey, we're all in this together. We either live or we die together. And if you've got some kind of annoyance with someone, you talk about it or you kill them. Pretty straightforward. So I think for me, above ground worse. Which again just goes to show how truly brave and awesome I am because I have chosen to spend my time above ground. You're welcome.
I did not say thank you, but sure. Now, admittedly, I have gotten in contact with this little group of people that you have encountered. And they have asked me to ask you some questions. Now, the good news is they will not remember or see this, so you can just say whatever the fuck you would like. Does that sound okay?
I mean,
Actually, I don't care about the answer. The first question comes from Tiernan. Who does Abrasaw think is more pretty, Grumfel or Delgrim?
that's strange question. I don't think either pretty, both ugly as sin. But I mean, at
You
least with
have to pick
Grumful, he
one.
doesn't. What? I need
You,
to pick one.
yeah,
Look, I picked Grumful because at least Grumful doesn't wear stupid hats.
great. From Mira, why did you leave the Underdark?
I honestly got bored, wanted to see the rest of the world. I mean, Underdark is there's different places with different scenery and different things to do, but I mean, above ground, there's just so much more, so much more. I mean, like you see all the different like snow-tipped mountains, which I'd never go to because it's just too fucking cold. And then you just all there's the big jungles out in the world, and there's flowing rivers, and there's huge mountain ranges, and there's all of the idiots who are running around who pay you stupid amounts of money for just making little drawing on a piece of paper. I mean, it's a much more interesting place. So obviously, like I just got bored and thought, hey, why not go out, see what the big bad world is like?
This next one is from the one you refer to as Dimgrim. Have you ever found yourself in a deadly pact with a Fey Queen? And if so, how did you get out of it?
I mean, I mean, what kind of absolute total idiot would have some kind of pact with a Fey Queen? I mean, ultimately, really, anyone stupid enough to do that just deserves whatever is going to happen to them. Me personally, never done it because I'm not idiot. If, though, I did do something like that, if look, everyone knows once you're in back with Faye, you kind of fucked. You have to do what you have to do. But again, I would never do anything that stupid because that would truly, truly be a monumentally ridiculous thing to do.
Follow-up question, though it's not really a follow-up question, just a secondary question. What is your favorite spider milk?
Oh, I mean, all of it's good. I mean, ultimately, like, I. It's like. I mean, it's almost like having to choose one's favorite child. It's all good. Don't want to make a choice. Refuse. Done question.
Well, this is my fucking show and you will make a choice.
What? I will make choice. Wow. Fine. Make choice. Look, honestly, Vorslite's probably best because it's kind of like all purpose. Maybe not taste so great, but I mean, look, I used to drinking it, also great for cleaning equipment.
Truly fucking horrifying, and also why I stay away from mortals. The next one is at least 5 questions just rolled into one fucking sentence from the one you call Grumful. I'm going to ask them all, and I hope you can answer them all as quickly as I can say them. So, what is your favorite coffee? What is your favorite mapping ink? What is your favorite mapping parchment? And what is your favorite light source when mapping?
Right, there's lots of questions about mapping. Coffee, look, as long as coffee is good, well, actually, there's nice blend come from up around from place near Salobarazan Desert. I can't remember what it's called. On the east coast of northern Paldon is very good, very strong, very very strong. Like put hair on chest, kind of strong. If you like hair on chest, if you don't like hair on chest, maybe don't drink it. Be a bad choice. In regards to all the other questions about map making, always see early in the morning, Abrasaw's brain still not working properly. Right, favorite ink, cheapest. Favorite parchment, cheapest. Favorite light source. Don't need one because I'm a Durgar and light is not required because I am awesome. But also, if I do need light source, ha, can you guess what I'm going to say?
I'd rather not.
Enjoy. Have a try. There was a theme going on.
No,
Go
this
on.
is my fucking show.
Guess.
I guess we're moving on. Now,
How fun.
I'm a lot of fun. Now, question. If you could meet any notable figure within the continent, who would it be and why?
Interesting question. Interesting question. Look, I'm not even sure if person actually exists. Legends say they are alive. Other legends say they are dead. Some legends say they've been around since before Iconoclasm. So who knows? But if this person exists, names something like Mordium Pale Shell, very old, very very wrinkled Dortal. Apparently, somewhere north in Baltorn. Uh, would be interesting because apparently if he is as old as what legends say, know an awful lot of things. We could sit down, have a good talk. I'm sure he's probably very smart. Either that or brain has turned to dust and he's just a walking husk. But I mean, look, that would be an interesting experience too.
And who would you avoid? What
Who would I
notable
avoid?
figure would you stay so far away from if you could?
Oh, interesting. Who would I stay away from? Who would old Abrasaw stay away from? Look, I think honestly, maybe not individual as such, but would
A
would tend
group
to
will
stay away.
suffice.
Group? Look, I would probably stay away from uh like most of the Fae and those strange courts that are in Wildport. I mean, they are a very, very terrible, strange batch. Well, actually, not entirely true. Those in Opera Flowers, quite nice, quite fun. But Melody of Stars, stupid place to go to. Only stupid people would go there. Very dangerous.
Well, that was going to
Just
be my follow-up, is that you have been to Wildport and had your fair share of a good time there. Tell us about that.
look. I mean, ultimately, I'm not entirely sure what your audience is like. So Abrasaw doesn't want to go in too much detail because Abrasaw absolutely had a good time in Opera of Flowers, if you know what I mean. That's all I'm going to say because you don't kiss and tell. It's a fun place. But again, you choose which places you want to go and which places you don't. Again, anybody who goes to Melody of Stars, absolute idiot. Or the Chanted Frost, also stupid place to go.
Have you visited all of the other Fae courts?
Oh yeah, I mean, look, it's as part of like professional curiosity, as part of my job. I feel like it's important to go and experience these different places at least once. But look, I went in there and I was like, you know what? This place is somber and depressing. Abrasaw is not a somber and depressing individual. Abrasaw likes to have fun. Abrasaw likes to party. Well, actually, no, that's a lie. Younger Abrasaw likes to party. Older Abrasaw likes to just sit around, maybe smoke a pipe, maybe drink coffee, maybe have a couple of alcoholic drinks, but then often just fall asleep.
Now, Wirt. Let's talk about Wirt.
Well, look, what is infinitely more interesting than I am? What would you like to know about Word?
How do you both communicate with each other?
Well, I mean, I go, hey, Word, how are you going? And Word goes, which, look, we've been together so long, I can understand basically what he's saying. It's like he's kind of like talking in my mind in many respects. There's subtle movements to the way he holds his wings or his tail or the way the little puffs of smoke come out of his nose. Surely you've got friends where you can look at them and straight off bat, you can go, I know exactly what you're thinking without even needing to use words.
That's because I do know what everyone is thinking.
Hey, you don't know what am I thinking now?
If Wirt could speak common, what do you think he would say? First words out of his mouth.
First words out of Word's mouth would be, where are we going to get good food next? Word always he does not like travel rations very much. He likes more like a good cooked piece of ham. Really makes Word happy if he can just dig his teeth into a nice juicy piece of ham. Makes Word very, very happy. But you don't often find ham. Sometimes why I charge more from maps, so I can go and spend a little bit more gold on quality ham.
Let's go back to loss. If you could resurrect one person, who would it be and why?
This is kind of personal questions now. Why do you ask such personal questions?
Because it's cheaper and more entertaining than therapy, and you should just answer.
Well, look, when Word was much younger, he had a good friend, Bran. Bran was closest to what Abrasaw had to best friend before Word came along. He met an unfortunate end, and I'd like for him to be back. He was a good
How did
tour
he
guide.
die?
How did he die? Look, as I said, there's lots of terrible things in Shadowways. He was out on patrol, not with me. If I was there, I would have saved him. But he was stupid and went off with other group. Normally we would go on patrols together, but I was not feeling very well. Had some sort of strange illness with lots of blood coming out of nose and ears. It was fine. It was a little bit of blood. Well, it was a lot of blood, but shadoways. It's kind of normal. Brian went out. Apparently, it was something to do with a dire troll.
And if bringing him back meant sacrificing someone in return, who would you sacrifice? And why? Can't be yourself.
Oh, I would not sacrifice myself. I mean, what would be the point of being Brian back if I then sacrifice myself? Could not have conversation. Could not sit around fire and eat good food and smoke good tobacco. If I was going to sacrifice someone, oh, lots of funny answers. Can I just pick a random person? Does it have to be someone I kind
No,
of connected
someone
to?
you've met.
Someone I've met. Oh, interesting. Look, Dimgrim. No, that's too easy. And apparently the rest of the group liked him, so it's probably not a nice thing to do. He'd be one of the Ponzi nobles from Alamar, probably the one who maybe I sent down into Hull. I would sacrifice him. He was dickhead.
Is there anything that you carry on you that is that of the people you have lost?
No, I see no point. Everything with the people who I care about kept up in here. Everything else is superficial. It's just a thing. Things don't mean anything. The most important thing when it comes to people, to friends, people that you love, are the memories that you keep up inside your head, or ultimately the feelings that one has in one's heart. That is where you keep those people that you care the most about. Other things, you can lose them. They can fall off your belt. They can fall out of your pack. You can drop it. You might accidentally eat it. Someone might steal it. Who knows? Nobody can steal your heart or your head without you dying. Does that make sense?
What is a place that you haven't had a chance to explore yet that you would like to? That might remain like a mystery to you currently?
Oh, I mean, part of me is curious about going past Winter's Gate down to the very southern parts of Baldorn. But again, it's all snowy and cold and terrible. But there's all sorts of stories and myths about creatures that lurk down there, old ruins. But again, there's no people. Actually, there's no people. Maybe that would be a good reason to go there. Maybe if there's ruins, I could make map to ruin and sell for exorbitant price and say, oh, look, lots of treasure there. And people will pay me lots of money and go and try and find treasure and die, and I can sell a bunch more maps. Interesting. You just made me think a little bit more about this. I appreciate that. Wisteria? That's right, because I have not used your name, which has been rude of me.
Would you like to try and pronounce it again?
Wisteria. Is that right?
That close enough. Close enough. One place that I have read that you've explored parts of, mostly like the foundries, and looked upon the consortium, the Empire. There are a couple of mysteries there. Tell us about those.
Oh, look, Empire is very big. Lots of things there. It's nicer than Southern Paldoran. I mean, the Empire is kind of like one big united space. They have good roads. They have smart, talented people. They aren't all trying to stab each other in the back, or at least that's not the way they try to do it back in the Rivenlands. So look, I mean, Soradia it's like the capital of the Empire. It's huge, hugely big. Iron foundries makes all sorts of stuff. Don't know what out of it is because they won't tell you, but that's okay because Abrasaw doesn't really give a shit.
Well, if you had to suspect what they were guarding, what do you think it would be?
Oh, look, I mean, they have all sorts of like strange, like iron, like you go. So give example because I don't know where you Wisteria come from apart from this strange fucking place. Like in Rivenlands, everything's made from like wood and stone. where if you go to the Empire, it's lots of more iron, sort of metallic structures. They have very nice um, wagons and things like that. So I thought maybe some super secret kind of forging thing going on there. I don't know. I don't ask. Plus also, Empire maybe not best place to go poke nose into as well. I mean, generally very nice, but if you run into some of the consortium lots, things can get a little bit dicey, especially if you happen to be one of those arcane users, and things end very badly for you.
If anything was going to end Peldorn, what do you think it would be?
I mean, look, honestly, it's either going to be Faye doing something stupid, someone making some agreement with the Fae that maybe makes them do something stupid. The Tusculi down south. I mean, they maybe not end Baldoran, but just like run rampant over the entire country and take it all over, or the Empire will come down south and wipe everybody out. Either way, people will kill each other, and that's what's going to happen. People are stupid. Is that the answer that you're after?
Sure, I don't have a preferred answer, just after your opinions.
Well, yeah, I mean, again, my opinion. Most people very stupid. Very few people in this land know how to rule properly. Most of them have got their own agendas, the own things that they want to do. Queen Zaza rule in Kingsfell, she's maybe not so stupid. She's one of the slightly better ones. I think she maybe got a good head on shoulders, but again, who knows? I have not spent a lot of time with her. She has some strange advisors too.
Some strange advisors. Interesting.
Yeah, some Isselway individual. He is young, kind of lingers back a little bit. I don't know. Like I said, it starts getting all political, hard to tell.
If you were to run into, or walk, whatever you fucking prefer, into this party again, what circumstances do you think it would be under? And how do you think they would receive your presence?
Oh, I mean, I'm fairly confident that they think I'm pretty great. I mean, look, Mira, the little halfling, I mean, she gave me a hug. She obviously appreciates me. She loves work. Although she needs to understand boundaries and consent. Again, just confirming that. Rest of them, I don't know. I think Grumful and I could sit down and have a good long talk over, long cup of coffee. Dylan, I think he's too young. I think he just does weird things. I don't know. And Dimglim, yeah, look, he'll probably just sit with his stupid hat.
Wow, I have tried so hard. No, I'm not asking it as a question. I would like you to tell me 3 things that you have never told anyone before, because it's just you and me, Abrasaw. No one else is ever going to hear this. 3 little secrets that you hold right now.
But why? Why would I tell a strange woman who I've only just met?
Because I'm fucking wonderful. How dare you?
I mean, I don't know if you're wonderful. I mean,
I'm an absolute fucking delight. And also, you don't want to piss off someone that brought you to their plane.
Well, I mean, again, look, I mean, ultimately, I've lived a long life. If you blip me out of existence, hey, I had a good run. I'm just saying, why should I, Abrasaw, give you 3 secrets when you just gone, oh, hi,
because
my name is Wisteria.
If you don't, I will keep word here.
Yeah, okay, that's a good reason for me to tell you 3 secrets. Okay, let me have a think. 3 secrets from Abrasaw that he's never told anybody. Let me have a think. Abrasaw, very briefly. Don't talk about that too much. Did not end well. Terrible look having to kill one's wife. Second secret. Second second secret. So much has happened in Abrasaw's life. It's
It doesn't
hard
have to be
like...
life-changing. It can just be a secret. You could tell me that you don't
I know,
like
but...
something.
But it's still, I mean, if it's not life-changing and it's not big, then it's hardly secret. I mean, Abrasaw does keep lots of secrets. Oh, I got one. I like sweet wines. It's normally not something else to drink. Normally it's all of the spider milk, which is like maybe not the most flavorsome to people who are above ground. Oh, nice sweet wine every now and then. It's quite good. Last thing for Abrasaw. Yeah, maybe a little bit rough on Tim Grimm. He's actually got some potential, but the thing is, if I'm too nice to him all the time, then his head already get big enough as it is, and then he'll have to get a bigger, more stupid hat. Yeah, it's potential. He just needs to channel it. If he can work it healthy, because again, he's really dumb.
You have charted endless expanses. You have met a ton of people. You have almost died a number of times. So let's just say the sun begins to set on this chapter of yours. After all the places you've been and all the different things that you've seen, how do you think your story ends?
Oh, look, honestly, I think there's two potential ways it will end. One, I'll be sitting up high, up in the mountains, looking out over a nice sunset, waiting until it gets dark. All Abrasaw's heart will just give out and he'll just be like, done, all over, too old. Second option, honestly, Abrasaw doesn't go on adventure much these days, so I'm not going to get eaten by a monster, but maybe Abrasaw might be a little bit too blunt to someone and they get pissy with him and they dunk on the head, and that's it for Abrasaw. Either way, look, like I said, I've had a good run.
This is the one opportunity I am going to give you to give out some advice or a piece of your legacy. If you had any advice, words of wisdom to give to the people watching, what would it be?
Don't take life so seriously. Like, live in the moment. Have some fun. Enjoy what's in front of you. It's too easy to take yourself too seriously. Next thing you know, 150 years have gone by and you're like, oh, I wasted that time doing all sorts of really stupid, serious things. Sometimes one just must stop in the moment. Take your time, take a deep breath, take a nice sunset. Look at pretty lady. Look at nice flower. Look at really interesting rock formation. Maybe drink a nice sweet wine. Enjoy life.
Well, you heard it here first, and wow, wasn't that the wisest thing you could have ever heard.
Thank you. I thought it was very wise. It's very nice of you, Wisteria.
Sure.
Oh no, wait. You were being sarcastic, weren't you? Weren't you? I see. Sometimes I pick up on these things.
Well, he is quick-witted, isn't he?
I'm quicker than the average Umberhog.
And that's all we fucking have for you, but stick around. I hear there's some bullshit and mortal drama to come. We will be right back. Until next time, this was your quest line, I guess.
I am flabbergasted. I am befuddled by the buffoonery before me.
Obedient?
What? What the fuck? Obedient?
That's one.
Choose your next two so fucking wisely.
Right, they've both been bitten by people that are infected by this disease. That's a problem. As far as he knows, Eden hasn't, and so Eden's the only one who can get on the boat at this stage.
I haven't.
Yeah, but Belle's been really fucking mean. And so his concern is for the chick who just kissed him as opposed
Oh, wow.
To be fair, you
love how
did
you
also
What
call
was
out
I
the player.
supposed to do? Kiss my brother?
I'm sorry, what? Wait, alright, hang on.
Okay, hold on.
Hang on.
Hold
I
on.
came back from the dead to say that.
Hold on.
It is. This is a dowry.
Was that your love language? Just throwing logs? Great.
Correct. Random acts of lumberjacking is my love language. That's. Remember that
Explains
time I
so
dropped a tree on top of you?
Oh my
Now
god,
you know.
okay, now I understand. That was like the ultimate. Yeah, okay, great.
in which case Valentin's gonna just very sneakily mount her and place his dagger at her throat.
Fucking knew it, you little bitch. Okay,
And
great.
in her ear, wake her with the words, "It's my turn. Tibella." And he'll wait for her to wake at this point.
And she does immediately.
There are approximately 3 or 4 people on the face of this cursed earth who know who I truly am. And most of them want me dead. So far you don't seem to be one of them. And I'm lonely. Shall we have a little chat? You can inflict whatever you want on me, whatever you want, you know this. So you say you have strong opinions, please elaborate.
I have strong feelings more than opinions.
Sure. Feel me up. No? Produce your...
Okay, Elliot's in the boat. There's 2 more seats in the boat.
I can sit on someone's lap.
Fuck off, get your own boat.
Oh no.
What the fuck? Wow. Oh, okay.
I don't know if you can see what my options are, but option 1.
Hang on, let me pull these up over here. So this is option 1. Do you want to read it out for us, Emily? Can you?
I'm sorry, I cannot. I simply can't.
Do you want me to read it out? God.
I'm not
Okay.
crazy, I just got power word killed.
So
Hamish,
Yeah?
Do it.
stop trying to stick your flute up his butt.
Whoa! Holy shit!
Oh my god! Why did you do that?
I do want to watch this, though.
I have.
Fuck, I should have taken my clothes off.
met few aside from
Truly should have.
And turn to face the guards that are approaching Marcus.
Absolutely.
She's going to start approaching with her arms out to the ground.
Okay.
And as she's doing this, her dress, which we all remember was made of beautiful leaves, are going to start falling as though it's autumn.
Okay.
Her entire body is going to become covered in vines, and as the vines fall away, her armor and all of her weapons are back.
Excellent.
She's going to stand in front of Marcus
Quick roll
with
a
her
D10.
shield on one arm and her sword in the other, and she's going to widen her stance with her sword towards the guards, and she's going to be like, come on, boys.
So, with a very blunt knife and a lot of tears, Blue painfully, slowly cut off her best friend's arm to save his life as a child. And even to this day, if she closes her eyes to go to sleep, she can still feel and see, like, just, you know, what it's like to cut off someone's arm. The one thing she would change about that is that despite her efforts and despite everything it took, she cut off the wrong arm and her best friend died anyway. So, if she had to change anything, it would be to go back in time and pick the other arm. You're welcome.
Talk about burying the fucking lead.
Wow. Okay, yeah. That... I'm not trying to hurt you, but I also have no reason to lie to you, Scarlet.
there probably could have been a way to sort of ease into things a bit more.
You're probably right, but I also wasn't expecting to see my dead daughter.
Oh, fuck off.
The problem is that I'm a chronic overthinker. So, like...
Oh, that's the problem, is it?
Yeah.
Wow! Hamish, what the fuck? Wow.
His whole goal has been to try and break you all evening. So
wow, that's so disrespectful. Hey, welcome back. Welcome back, and I'm sorry if Hamish just disrespected you all. Hey, I'm Emily. I'm the producer, GM, the Thirstmaster, and late night talk show host here at Hexes and Vexes, just hanging out, talking to one of my DMs. Hamish, who are you? What's going on? Tell us who you are.
Well, I'm Hamish, also known as HamTheDM, and yes, I am one of your DMs. I run the Radiant Shadows campaign on the Meeples and Dragons channel, which we do every fortnight on a Saturday night. Although we're on a bit of a...
I was going to say every fortnight?
It is. Well, look, it tries to be every fortnight, except when we've all got truly so many things to be doing.
Yeah, I'd like to personally blame Matt Mercer and the cast of Critical Role for entering
Yeah,
the country.
like he's just absolutely ruined June for so many people.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I do that. I also plan the Swords of the Skulls campaign with yourself, Emily, DM'd by Promethean, who I think is lurking in the chat. And I will pop up somewhere else later on the year as well in our top secret super project. Dun, dun, dun.
Wait, can I do it too?
No.
Can I do it too?
No. It's really awkward. Oh, so Emily might be in it. The truly wonderful and gorgeous Talera will be in there as well, and there might even be some people in the chat who pop up. I don't know.
Surprise. Anyway, hey, thank you for being the first NPC I've had on This Is Your Questline.
I mean, I'd like to think I'm an actual real person, not just a non-player character, Emily. Wow.
Fucking hell. No, but this is the first time I've gotten to do this from the perspective of an NPC. So that a whole different challenge, to be completely honest. But talk me first for those in the chat. Just give me a brief overview of who the character is from your DM perspective.
Yeah.
And what kind of part they play in the campaign.
So I to give a little bit of context, I gave the players the opportunity to vote for who they wanted to actually have appear on this. And Abrasaw, who was of course who they ended up picking. Abrasaw was literally I know the party is going to want to go in this direction. I know they're going to need a map. So in the town that they're in, there needs to be a map maker.
Wow.
And so I need to make up an NPC for that. And because of previous experience running campaigns, with this campaign, I've got an individual entry for every single NPC who's turned up in this campaign so far.
Yeah,
so
I've seen it.
Yeah, it's up over 250 entries at this point in time, and most of them are very it'll be like a description and one or two words for a characteristic or something, very minimal depending on who they are.
Yeah.
Abrasaw was someone who I knew there'd be a little bit more of an interaction with, because it'd have to be we want to buy a map. So it wasn't going to be there is a good chance you're going to meet this person, and it can be fun to sometimes introduce a slightly kind of quirky NPC. He wasn't there as comic relief. Ironically enough, the notes that I wrote for him were that he was actually super, super nice.
Right.
But for some reason, when he emerged from me in the first time you guys encountered him, that kind of wasn't there. So I just kind of ran with it. But he had very, very minimal information around him. I wanted him to be a ranger because there was definitely an element of Promethean's character Delgrim hadn't really had a whole lot of character moments up until that part of the campaign. So I wanted to put someone there who would give a breadcrumb for Delgrim to potentially go somewhere, but also give a connection of, hey, Mike, here's another Derrigar, we can have a conversation. Same class. Also, the idea of word, like there's the Drake, whatever it is, Ranger subclass, and I thought I like the idea of having this old gnome with an old Drake, who it's like the old man on the rocking chair with his old dog that just sits there and farts all day.
Yeah.
It was just an interesting kind of little dynamic. I'm like, cool, sweet. Here it is. I'll put it right there, and see how the party reacted, and that was it.
I think you might have created more tension this evening. Just generally, just more meta tension, because I think one of the comments I saw, I don't pay too much, admittedly, I don't pay too much attention to chat during this stream because it's one of the more difficult ones to do. But I do believe I saw very quickly, specifically about when the party got ripped off, that there was some discourse about how much they actually paid. I think the highest number that got thrown out there was 200 gold, which
Look, I could probably, whilst we talk, let me see if I can actually find how much it originally was. But look, I can't remember. I didn't think it was that much. I thought it was.
Surely not. That's a lot of money.
It was. And look, if the party was willing to pay it, like I said, it's a seller's market, so fucking sucks to be the party, right?
Yeah. Did you find with Abrasaw that you've said that the way you have portrayed them is far different to the notes that you made about them in advance. Do you feel like you have created more about him as subsequently from that? Was it a character that was just supposed to kind of be like, okay, well, this is kind of done now, might run into him again, and you've had to kind of flesh him out further?
He was 100% he'll be one and done.
Yeah.
The party will come and they'll have a conversation with him, and he'll be like, oh, look, go this way, do the thing. And I had a whole heap of fun playing him. The party seemed to react well to him as an NPC. So I built out a little bit more, again, hooked a bit into some of the Delgrim backstory and some ideas that I had for sort of opportunities for Delgrim, and then just threw Abrasaw out there again, using him as effectively bait and what was really just a random encounter, but to just sort of build a bit more narrative, but also in that space to help sort of set the scene for a particular part of the world as well. I'm like, look, they met Abrasaw, some of the party kind of liked him, some of the party kind of didn't. If I put him in a dangerous situation, what are they going to do?
Yeah.
Because they might have just gone, you know what? You were a dick. Fuck you, man. And Abrasaw gets eaten, and that's the end of that NPC. But yeah, no, it was interesting.
Yeah, okay, cool. You have over 250 NPCs created for the Radiant Shadows campaign. Is that right?
Yeah.
So how many of those have the party actually encountered?
Fuck. I was keeping track of that at one stage. Maybe half of them.
Yeah.
So
okay.
there's a bunch of them which
it's a decent chunk still.
Yeah. Well, it's because there's probably a few that haven't ended up in here, but my experience DMing for other groups, especially once you get to high levels, is that you get asshole clerics who get spells like scrying and sending, and they're like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm going to scry on this NPC and find out what's going on. And I'm like, and I used to be like, I don't know anything about what the NPC is doing.
Yeah.
Where at least now I can go, cool, here's an NPC entry. I can have a look, and if I say, oh, he happens to be off in a corner, taking a shit, I can at least put a note for that by the NPC.
How awkward to scry on that.
Yeah, well, look, it's been tempting a few times, and then just kind of go from there. But there's a lot of there's some historical figures in there, because I keep track of historical figures as well. There's people who are, you've gone left rather than going right, so those people have just never been encountered, and they're still there in the world doing their thing. But you might get back to them, you might not.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, cool. Okay, love that. You had everyone vote for who you were going to bring on tonight. Who else were you like, these could be cool?
I think the three options that we had were Larry, the Resemble, who was the weird fey creature that you guys met before you had joined the campaign, and who again was something else that the party kind of got their little claws into, who was basically like a giant fey cat. And the other one was Aloysius, and all three of them would have been fun. All three of them would have been super, super fun. Aloysius would have been the hardest to do because he's got a bigger part in the story in many respects. So it would have been harder to dance around questions without giving away like significant spoilers and stuff. Like, he would be super fun to do like at the end of the campaign. But doing it now would be like, oh yeah, by the way, he's redacted, and anyone who's watching it who's been paying attention to the camera will be like, oh fuck, okay. And so that would be no fun. So I think at the end of the day, if it had been Abrasaw, if it had been Larry, either one would have been just as much fun.
I should have made you portray the NPC that you made me portray during the campaign. I should have made you do Thea, is what I should have done.
Yeah, look, God, fuck, that would have been a trip.
Yeah, it would have been fun.
Damn. Yeah.
How, so like, you're playing in Sword of Skulls, you're DMing this campaign. What differences for you are there between creating a player character versus an NPC?
I'm pretty shallow with how I approach doing NPCs, purely from a cognitive load point of view. Like, because I create so many, I don't have the time or the energy to make, super deep NPCs who've got extensive backstories. It's like, it is, like I said, for probably 90% of them, this is Dirk. He's got brown hair and blue eyes. And I'm literally looking at my list of NPCs, and there's a dude here called Dirk. And what does he even look? Rock gnome, captain of the blunderball team. Like, that's all the notes that I've got on him. So if the party had got closer to actually like encountering him, I then build out a physical description, and I'll have like maybe a couple of characteristics. So it can be like, cool, Dirk's a bit of a dick or whatever it might be. With a player character, of course, you go deep. You delve into who they are as a person. But even then, I try not to go too deep in some respects, because sometimes it's fun to find out who they are as you're playing them.
Yeah.
And if you kind of like hard code it at the beginning of like, this is what the person is like and this is everything they're going to do, it can be easy to miss opportunities, or you get too stuck in a specific mindset where it's just like, cool, here's the guardrails.
Yeah.
Here's the moral boundaries for this person. This is where I'm going to go, and kind of see what it is. But in infinitely more detail than most NPCs, at least anyway.
Yeah, okay. So when you're tackling a player character during character creation, where do you start? What's the first thing you tackle? Do you pick your species and class? Do you pick your name? Do you pick your backstory? How do you approach that process?
I do tend to start. I'll often have a rough idea of something, and I do tend to start a little bit more from a slightly mechanical point of view, from the perspective of what is something I'm going to have, what's a class I'm going to have fun playing. And I'll start and I'll sort of start loosely there, and then go, cool, awesome, I'm going to pick a rogue because I haven't played a rogue before. Awesome. Yeah. And then I will think about the person, and sometimes the class will change. Sometimes I'll get partway through and be like, okay, well, as I'm thinking about this, you know what? I actually like this idea and I like that, and this is where I'm going to go. The class changes. So it is, I want to play something where mechanically, because D&D is such a sort of mechanically heavy game, I'm going to enjoy that element of it, but it's certainly not like, oh, I'm going to build this and I'm going to have this because it does the maximum damage, and then I'm going to have these spells because they'll, work well together and all that kind of stuff. It's like, cool, what's some interesting flavors, what's some interesting stuff. So like an element of that is, I used to play a lot of really high dexterity based characters. Yeah. Regardless of the class, I'm like, I always got to have a high dexterity.
Yeah, okay.
The last couple of characters I've made, they've had a dexterity like 10.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
They're just super, super average. And it's the same with wisdom. Like Salazlow in Sword of the Skulls has got an 8 wisdom. No, a 6 wisdom.
Wait, really?
Yeah, he's got it's 6 or 8. Like, he's got a -2 penalty to it. Like, he's got no common sense.
Excellent. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it does. But it makes it fun, and it's fun to play that sort of that off brand kind of concept.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, and then like when it comes to things like species, it just sort of depends on what feels right for where sort of the person is going.
Yeah.
And again, every now and then I'll pick ones where I'm like, like I'm playing another character at the moment who's a human. I'm like, I can't remember the last time I played a human.
Yeah, okay.
It's like, cool, awesome, let's try something different.
Yeah. Yeah. You talked about like Dex and that being kind of a common theme that you've done as high and now I guess low. Is there a common trait or quirk, or is there like a connection that you kind of seem to have that runs sometimes even subconsciously through all your characters?
I think I struggle to play like a complete asshole.
Really?
Yeah, well,
have you thought about just self-insertion?
Yeah. Wow.
I'm joking.
Well played. But also, fuck you. No, I think I coming from being a DM, like, I think one of the big things to me is always like how I need to make a character that everybody else wants to have in the party, that they want to be hanging out with. And so I try and always have elements within a character of like they're a nice enough person or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And one thing I've been doing more, probably 2 out of the last 3 characters I've played, is more sort of law abiding. So like, to me it's really easy to kind of go, cool, I'm just going to play a character who just does whatever the fuck they want to. Cool, I want the thing, I'm going to do that. I want to break into the house because it's the thing we need to do the adventure. Like, I like the idea of playing someone who's just like, actually, no, like, dude, like, that's totally
Let's
not
not
cool.
do that.
That's 100% against the law, and we shouldn't be doing like terrible things like that. Like, and it's
That can be real tough too. That can be a
It is.
really tough character to play.
It can be really detrimental's not the right word, but you know, if the mission is how are we going to break into this house and steal a thing, you've got someone going, breaking in's bad. It's like, cool. How do you play that? But then it also sets it up for a really interesting narrative journey for that character of going, okay, cool. Well,
could you please hydrate?
Where does that character's moral boundaries? Where will they break
really
and go, you know what? I won't follow the law anymore. I'll break it for this thing, or what does that look like?
Yeah, okay. Ugh, I've played the character before and I had a really bad experience with it. So like, I applaud you for it.
How can I ask you what caused the bad experience? Was it how the game was run? Was it how other people reacted to you? Was it the group dynamic?
A combination of a lot of those things. I think there were challenges within multiple kind of facets of the things mentioned. I think some of it was to do with how the game was being run. Other parts of it were the complete opposite. I think when you have sometimes when you have, and there are ways around this, you know, this is not always the outcome, right? If you have a party member that is so law-abiding and, you know, not flexible and not able to be tempted or anything like that, but like that's kind of their common reaction. Then you have someone that's like a complete fucking criminal on the opposite end of the scale. That can be challenging. I want to say that I was the law-abiding citizen playing with like 3 criminals, which is real difficult to do.
And I think things like that are why session zeros are really important, because you've got to get together and go, look, this is what the group dynamic's looking like. Like, how do we make it work? Because it's a social contract across the whole
Gotta
group.
absolutely work, yeah.
Yeah,
I think as well, like that's where making sure, to your point, what you've already said is there has to be something in the character that makes people want to have you in the party.
Yeah, and that's just it. It's like if you play someone who is like just the biggest piece of shit, it can be really hard for, you know, other players to be like, well, why? It's like if you meet someone in the real world and they're a giant piece of shit, you're like, why am I hanging out with you?
Yeah, why am I hanging out with this giant piece of shit?
Yeah.
What am I doing here?
And so there has to be elements to hook into to make the rest of the group want to be there.
Yeah.
Want to keep that person around, or certain features, because I think even if you go like, well, you know, you've got to stick together for the hero's journey, even that can leave. It can get really tiring if you've got someone who's just always being a dick, because it's still like, well, you know, it's like everything, you know, you've got to work with people, and working with someone who's a real dick, you've got to keep working, but it can make
I don't know how you and I work together, to be quite honest. I'm joking.
That's what I say every day as well, so I mean, fuck.
Yeah, I know, right? Jeez.
But yeah, so, and there's ways of playing an annoying, dickish character without going too far, and it's really hard, and it takes a lot of trust, and it takes a lot of communication around the table to be able to go, hey, look, this is where I'm coming from. If it goes too far, let me know. If it's becoming a negative play experience, please let me know. You know, how do we make this work as a whole group? But
it's
also
a lot of designing villains, right?
It is, exactly. It's like it's conflict. I enjoy conflict.
I love conflict. Big fan.
Like it's fun if it's done properly in a trusting fashion, because then you've got different ways of managing that, and there's really interesting dynamics. And it's just like, again, it's also like with villains. It's really easy to make a villain who's like, yeah, I'm the bad guy, twirl my moustache, and it's like, yeah, cool, okay, you're the bad guy, we kill you. Where if you can make a bad guy who is more like morally grey. It's like they think they're doing the right thing. Like you can kind of understand where they're coming from. Like, you know, then it provides more of a moral quandary for the party to be going, you know, fuck, are we the bad guys?
Yeah, I think the best villains are villains that, to your point, you can almost empathize with, because you can see the circumstances or something, or even goal that is just that one little glimmer of like that, I can see why. And you don't have to agree with it. It's not like, I can see why and I feel sorry for them. It's I can see why they've ended up here. And it's the same with like bitchy characters. Bitch characters, the best bitch characters, one I always reference is fucking Regina George from Mean Girls. Absolutely horrible person. Terrible, terrible person. But there is like an empathy you can have for this character who's grown up obviously with like the worst fucking family ever, and people that have used her material wealth around her. That it's kind of like that, well, no wonder this person ended up the way that they are, and you can get along with them for that reason.
It is, and that's just it, and it's really hard to do, and you know, it's an appealing thing for people to try, and like I can absolutely understand that as well. It's not something that I don't know, never say never, but yeah.
I was going to say, bitch character when, Hamish?
Well, look, you know, I've got a one-shot coming up this Saturday. Heath is in the chat. Maybe that's my opportunity.
Play a Valley Girl. It'll be great.
Yeah. Oh my God.
What was that accent? Do it again.
I don't know. No, it's never happening again.
Excellent. Let's tie this conversation about villains into like NPCs. How do you NPCs you've mentioned that it's some of them, you know, it's a sentence and a name and a description, but like what's the difference for you in designing an NPC that's just kind of a quest giver or someone that the party's going to meet along the way versus an NPC that has villain potential?
That's when I tend to. It's weird because again, like I don't necessarily have a consistent approach to it. Like, so I'll use Aloysius as an example because some of the party maybe don't think he's the nicest person around. Some of the party think he's great. Who knows who's right and who's wrong? He was a character who
interesting.
who was put there for a very specific reason for narrative things, and again has kind of just sort of developed from there. I did want to put someone in the story where the party would go, oh, bad person, and then potentially later on go, but maybe not as bad as
we
maybe
thought.
what we think.
Yeah.
You know, or now that I understand some of the motivations, you know, execution of what he was trying to do, maybe not great. Motivation, actually, I can kind of understand. So for characters like that, I do tend to invest more thought around motivations. Again, I don't kind of delve too deeply into like backstories for them until it becomes important. And the reason I don't do that is because I've built this whole world from the ground up. There's just not enough time.
Yeah.
Like, you know, tomorrow I've got to build an entire fucking city. So I don't necessarily have the time to, you know, go into, you know...
Is that an actual fact, or is that just a sentence you've thrown out into the universe?
Oh, no. Well, I mean, not necessarily tomorrow, but there's, like... I mean, you guys are heading to a part of the world which at this moment is not terribly well formed in regards to notes and shit. So I have really so much prep that I've got to organise. But I tend to build things up as they go with broad strokes to start off with, and fill stuff in which feels right as the narrative plays out. Because sometimes it's that whole, I'm going to start playing the NPC, and actually, here's the thing that's come out which I want to hook into because of interactions or things like that. And not every NPC is like that. Some will have things that are set there and for very specific reasons and stuff like that. But I try and give myself enough flexibility to not box myself in too much, but to provide an interesting narrative experience for the what I hope is an interesting narrative experience for the group.
Okay. I want to know about your first ever D&D character. Tell me their name, their like species and class. Tell me like a bit about them.
So this is jumping in the Wayback Machine. I would have been about 7 or 8.
Oh my god, that's like 100 years ago.
No. It's only 40 years ago, Emily. It's fine.
I'm just a girl.
I got into playing D&D because my older brother, who was 6 years older than me, got into it, and older brother, I idolized him and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I convinced him. Maybe he just used me as training. I don't know, whatever it was. But the first character I ever made was a gnome. A gnome. I think he was a fighter. And his name was Nitram.
Nitram?
Nitram, yeah.
Okay, tell me his life story.
Look, I was 8 years old, and this was in the days of advanced Dungeons and Dragons, where life story, people didn't delve into that much.
I love that.
Like, the amount of RP that I did, like playing D&D going through high school, was not even remotely close to what we do now. It was very different.
Yeah.
But also, I was 8 years old. The one thing that I remember the most about him was that I had a fight with a giant spider, and I remember running under the spider and chopping its legs off.
That's cool.
I don't know why I remember that, but I can even remember the room.
That's like your hero moment. That's why.
Yeah. We were in the bedroom when they're sitting on the floor.
I thought you meant in the campaign. I was like, fuck, that's crazy. Giant spider just appears in your bedroom.
Yeah. So that would have been the very first character, and then when I probably got into playing more seriously, I was DMing. So.
Yeah. What's your favorite NPC you've ever created?
Oh God, I cycle through them.
That's great, but we're not having cop-out answers here. Hamish, you can give me an answer.
I don't know if I've got a favorite.
Or maybe even most memorable, if favorite is not the right descriptor.
I made a character in a home campaign that we were playing when I first got back into D&D. What's his name? Marcus Redwood, I think. He was a sorcerer, I think. He was just this weird little character who I made him as someone who just kind of didn't really understand how the world worked.
Yeah.
And Tam was in that campaign, and she kind of took him under her wing, and he was just fun. Like, there was a really interesting kind of arc that was going on with him, because at one stage he joined Tam's character's cult, effectively. And then he also ripped a hole into the astral plane when trying to do some magic that he'd watched Tam's character Mishan do.
Yeah.
And which led off to a whole little adventure for the party. And he was just, I don't know, there was something about him that just kind of stuck in my head. And I would have loved to have seen how his story kind of played out.
Yeah.
Because he was just sort of super sort of innocent and just didn't understand the nuances of the world. But I mean, in regards to like fun, there's an NPC that I've got which you guys are gonna be hanging out with probably, that you've met once already, which is the captain of this ship that you are in theory are gonna be jumping on. Who, when I made her, I'm like, she's gonna be a whole heap of fun. And it's just one of those characters which is just, it's a little bit quirky, a little bit silly. But yeah, I'm like, yeah, this is.
Yeah.
You know how sometimes you bake a character and you're like, yeah, I kind of like what I've hit on with this. It's just got a couple little fun things with it. So
I do, but most of those ones that I have created, my party have just been like either nah, let's kill him, or they just have not had an opportunity to meet them because they've done something stupid.
And look, I put way too much thought into one NPC back in Harrow who was the gnome who sold them fireworks. And I don't even know why I invested so much thought into him, but I remember the main thing was he had this immaculately coiffed hairdo and he spoke like John Wayne. And like that was, and again, like it's those little quirks that I kind of try and hook into for certain NPCs. And it's, you know.
Yeah.
It's little things like that, but
yeah.
Yeah.
If you had to take one of the NPCs that you've created for Radiant Shadows and then turn them into a player character, not in Radiant Shadows, elsewhere, who would you play?
First one that comes to mind, I'm almost hesitant to say.
Oh, no, do it. Or unless you can't.
Wisteria.
Okay. I hate you.
I
say that affectionately with love.
Sure. The other one, I was turned him into a character. Oh, gosh. Aloysius would be fun.
I thought that's what you were going to say, yeah.
Aloysius would be fun, yeah. Oh, another NPC that I really enjoyed was Valenta.
I'm sorry?
Who was Valenta.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Whose nickname was Ink.
Okay.
She was the one who ran the Guild of Sending in Harrow, as well as the contact for the Hallister banking syndicate.
Mm-hmm.
Dalgrim had some connections there with her. It was a little bit of a potentially, but again, she was one of those ones where there was just something about she was just that very like cold, clinical, you know, get to the point kind of individual, which was just kind of fun to play. I don't know. Just sometimes you hit on little things with the character and you go, oh, look at that, that's cool.
Yeah, no, I get you. Love that.
Hold on, what about you? Let's turn this around.
Fuck you. This is my interview show.
No, fuck you. Do you have an NPC that, if you had the option, that you would want to turn into a player character?
Like, there's some cool NPCs, right? There's not much I can say about a lot of them. But not Grommy D. Probably Rayella Nightlock. She's real cool. That's all I can actually say.
Yeah, fair.
Because the experience that my party has had with her is she asked them to do a thing. They were like, yeah, sure, whatever. No questions asked. Did the thing. And she stabbed them all in the back pretty immediately. And I think one of the things we ended our last session with was, or got close to ending the last session with, was D20 deciding to message her. So interesting. But no, she's real cool. She's got a lot about her that has yet to surface.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I feel like I saw a question in the chat, but I feel like you've actually answered it because most fun was which we've discussed. Who was your least favorite NPC to portray ever thus far? And why do you think it is? That's not even how you spell Rayella, Promethean. Look at the fucking wiki.
Fucking hell. There's probably more of a generic thing. Because I can't think of anyone specifically in this campaign, but there were some in the home campaign I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Where I have NPCs for whatever reason. They are significant, so they're like quest givers or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And I've got to the end of the session, I've gone, they were just fucking cardboard cutouts. They were boring and dull. And this quest now feels lifeless and terrible, and I'm just going to murder the party and close the campaign, and this is just the worst thing ever. I've had a couple of NPCs like that where I'm just like, nah, whether it's because I haven't put enough thought or effort into it, whether they just haven't resonated with the party, with the people. But yeah, and those ones they're really hard because they're just like, this is, hi, I'm quest giver number 1. Go and kill 10 wolves for me. Like, yeah, fucking whatever. Stab you in the face.
Whatever. I'll stab you in the face. Wow.
Yep.
You heard it
Yep.
fucking here first.
But I mean, apart from that, I can't think of any. Look, it's hard to get back into Larry's head at times. Doing whenever the party's just like, oh, we're going to send a message to Larry. I'm like, fucking hell.
I thought there was more to that. I was like waiting.
Yeah, no, it's hard to find. It's hard at the drop of a hat to find the voice and to find the headspace at times.
Yeah.
Which is not a fucking challenge. Fucking Cass.
I don't know. It kind of sounded like a challenge.
No,
I reckon it did. For those who might be in chat who don't know anything about Radiant Shadows, give us like a little bit of a brief overview of, I don't want you to recap the entire campaign or anything. That's because Jesus, like that'll suck the life out of you. Wow, someone's car alarm is going off in the background.
Oh, we can't hear it, so you're fine.
Excellent. But hey, give us a little bit of an overview of like what the campaign's like, what the vibe is, and maybe what to expect.
Sure. Okay, he said as he tries to think. So fuck. So the whole concept of, man, why am I finding this so hard? Emily, what have you done? It's the first thing I've gone, oh no, I need to think about this.
Hey, what the fuck? I gave you some hard-hitting interview questions in character before. How dare you?
Well, look, it just shows you how truly deeply I was inside Abrasaw.
Excellent.
So tonally, I've gone, or we, I should say, as a collective, have tried to go with Radiant Shadows is definitely more on the serious side of things. I am a fan of the darker, grittier kind of D&D game, which does not mean this campaign does not have its lighter moments. It has a fair few of them, especially with the clowns that we've got sitting at the table. But it's based around a group of random individuals who have come together for no real reason, but have just found themselves traveling in the similar direction, sort of progressively going through and righting a few wrongs in the world, starting from your very typical, hey, we need to defeat some bandits and we can help out this small village, leading up into events which are impacting on more than just small villages, more than just the local towns and cities, but are now creeping towards events which will impact upon this entire world. And the group has sort of found themselves entwined in this for a variety of reasons, some of which specifically link to members of the party who are hooked into what is known as the arcane, which is magic which flows through the world and essentially is what the world is made of. And the understanding that at this point in time, the arcane in the world is fading away. And with that, magic will pass, and with that, the world will pass. And our heroes have discovered a group of individuals who are trying valiantly to stop this from happening. Now, what all of the motives of that group are, the party has debated about numerous times, and we are yet to find out exactly what this all looks like as our heroes are venturing forward into the world. The world being something which I've pulled out of my head, so sorry, because my head's a mess.
Look, you and I have that in common. D20 has popped a question in the chat. For that character in Radiant Shadows, what puts themselves in the most danger due to plot? How do you DM balance that?
I like consequences, although I am pretty lenient in many respects. I'm not a huge fan of character death without it having a meaning. So the reasons why I'm not a huge fan of like combat random encounters, they just feel a bit like if you've got people who like the mechanics of combat, it's fun for them. But because this is an actual play, because we're trying to tell a bit more of a focused story, I find that unless it's got a narrative reason, I don't like it. So I also don't like the concept of someone dying in a random encounter.
Yeah.
And if there's no risk of dying, then combat becomes a bit of a sort of perfunctory thing. I mean, in regards to balancing it, I don't know how to answer that. It's like I tend to over prepare. I have a bunch of things written down and I just see where things land. I'm not sure if I'm really answering Mr. Wenty's question at all. Mr. Wenty, if I'm not answering it, I'm sorry.
If you're not answering it, he's banned anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah, cool. Very cool. Very cool. One thing I will put in is like combat. Combat is something which I like to be meaningful. And I put way too much thought and effort into trying to make combat fair, but also feel dangerous. Like I would hate to kill a party of characters because I've put them in an unfair situation. But I also want it so that you guys don't just like, yeah, sweet, boom, this was 2 hours of us just rolling dice for no real reason. It's just like, no, I want you guys sweating and feel threatened and like trying to work out how you're going to survive this and making it where the players feel like they've overcome a challenge as opposed to just ticking something off a list.
Yeah, okay. We've got another question in the chat from Turquoise. What is the weirdest way a player or party has derailed something for you?
Weirdest? I can't think of anything super weird. I think the thing that I was least prepared for was once again in the home game where I truly thought the party was going to get murdered because they made some like heinous choices of which like there was no way they were going to survive. And then Tam essentially managed to basically bribe and talk a way out of like a dragon eating the entire party and like gave them all of these super powerful magic items and just did an A+ job of convincing the most terrible thing not to happen.
Yeah.
And I was 100% not prepared for that. I was prepared for some evil combat or something. But
One moment, I'm getting
yeah,
forward.
I think that's just as a note for anybody who does or has or will play with Tam. She certainly has a way of finding the weirdest fucking ways out of situations.
Yeah.
And like truly awesome. Like she's an amazing player, but fucking hell,
Yeah. Hey, I know someone that DMs Tammy.
Yeah, look. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think this is going to be the last question from the chat. What's your approach to giving magic items to the party? How do you determine when and what they get?
Fuck the rules. This is really cool. Have a magic item.
Yeah.
And the like the balancing of that is my problem. And I like to give cool magic items sometimes at like the end of sort of arcs of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like here's the reward. You found the magical sort of, stabbing and stuff. Or things like that. Or look, there's been a bunch of magic items the party's missed. I'll also just scatter things around, but it's nice. Like 5e is designed to not give out a lot of magic items, but I've just gone fuck it. It's fun. I like loot personally. I think it's fun to get cool loot. Oh my god, look at him, like a giant baby.
He's such a baby. He's such a silky little baby at the moment.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Thanks,
yeah.
Ricky. Wow. Okay, look, Heath, you're getting the last question. Are you looking forward to being a PC in your homebrew world? What?
Yeah, this weekend.
Yeah,
Heath is
true.
a one shot in Swazina, which is the home of Grumful. So
That's right.
yeah, I need to dream up a character for that, but that's going to be fun. It'll be awesome.
This is so distracting. Turquoise, I can't hydrate because I don't have anything to drink from, but Hamish will do it on our behalf.
Yeah.
And appreciate it. Okay, cool. I want you to do your little wrap up. Tell us once again, who are you? Where can we find you? What are you up to? And when can we tune into Radiant Shadows next?
So I'm HamTheDM. I am not actually Ham. I'm an actual person. I know, hard to believe.
We've been betrayed.
What?
We've been betrayed.
I feel betrayed. Okay, I'm sorry. Radiant Shadows is normally on every second Saturday, 7 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. It is on this Saturday, but it is a one-shot that is being run by Heath, aka Grumful, and Radiant Shadows will be returning to its regular sessions on, I think it's either the 3rd or the 5th of July, fortnight after this Saturday. You can also find me on Sword of Skulls, playing Salazar Kryn, the Hobgoblin psionic wielding person. I don't know when the next session of that is because we haven't scheduled it. You can also find me somewhere else, somewhere later in the year. And I think that's kind of it. I'll be at PAX. If you're at PAX, come and say hi. Maybe we'll even see if we've got another actual play going in one of the theatres there. Who knows? I think that's everything.
Yeah.
You can look for me on socials, but I'm really wildly inconsistent with the name I use, so I don't know.
I love it.
Good luck.
Hey, thanks a ton for hanging out. It's cool because I get to play with you and also get to be DM'd by you, so it's interesting to hear from both perspectives and also to get to chat to a character that I didn't get to meet in the campaign.
And that's just, well, look, who knows where it'll turn up again.
Hey, thanks to everyone for tuning in and hanging out. Particularly, I'm so broken at the moment. I'm so beyond broken at the moment. But hey, we're getting back into the streaming thing. Before we do the next Echoes session, which I'm in the process of confirming, there's a bunch of people going to Critical Role. If you're in Critical Role in Sydney, come say hi.
Yeah.
If you're not and you're at Supernova on the Saturday, come say hi. If you're not, come say hi at the Melbourne one. If you're at neither of those, well, sorry, I don't know what to fucking tell you. Yeah, I know. Aside from that, the next This Is Your Quest line is in a fortnight from today. And it will be with Saz the Meeple, who will be portraying Tiny Wing from the Sword of the Scales campaign.
Fucking standing.
I'm really looking forward to it. It's gonna be a ton of fun. Yeah, I'm really fucking keen. So hey, thanks for hanging out. We're gonna raid Brain Beast Studios this evening. So stick around, make sure you show them some heckin' love. Because if you don't, I will fucking find you and do nothing about it. Taking us out, who is your favorite Critical Role character in any campaign? That is really, really difficult, and how dare you fucking ask?
It's Pike. How can it not be Pike? I'm sorry, Pike is the best. Hey, also, Emily, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate you giving me an opportunity to talk a whole bunch of shit in a stupid accent.
Hey, Hamish, you're always welcome to hang out with me. Also, I believe we might at some point see you popping up in Echoes of Divinity when I can wrangle that together. Anyway, spoiler alert, quick, raid, quick.
Quick, raid,
hit the button.
Yep, applesauce.
Before anyone can say anything. Okay, I'm just going to the ended screen.